Welcome back to part 2 of Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, going over the Shadow Heritage. This is the second video talking about the connection between the Cult of Kosmos and the Order. As you progress into the storyline, you find out there's a letter that links one of the cult members with the Order. So we know that they're working together. What I found was funny, because before they weren't working together. It's like, don't let them know you're in the area. The funny thing is, at this point in my game, I've killed every single member of the cult, so there's no one left. There's no one for the Order to work for. And this DLC, it focuses on the Tempest, which is the leader of the naval branch of the Order. There's 5 members of the branch, compared to the 7 that were in the Huntsman's branch. It's interesting that the first DLC was like, obviously this takes over the course of like several months. That in the beginning they said, we're gonna observe them, we don't let them know we're here. And then they're like, okay, well, we've been helping you. We've been giving you information on Cassandra. It obviously takes place somewhere around the same... It takes place around the same timeline, somewhere around there. I always thought this DLC took place after. It's towards the end where you still kind of have like some of the cult members still around. But in my case, I've killed everyone. So I was like, made the joke. It's like, okay, so the Order is working with the ghost cult because everyone's dead. In my case, in my storyline. I completed it. I didn't like this DLC as much as the first one. Like, I enjoyed the Huntsman better. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it felt shortened. They added new mercenaries into it to kind of like replace the Order's members, because there's only being 5. They added 4 mercenaries that try to hunt you, which are kind of easy, which is fine. But I was never big into hunting the mercenaries, so I took those guys out. It's part of the story. Now, the biggest thing is they add flamethrowers to your ship, the Chimera's Breath, which is awesome. That's the best part of this DLC. It's just, you can hose ships with fire instead of like using your javelins that are on fire or your arrows that are on fire. I feel that there's more in depth to the cult and the Order, like what's going on here. Like, obviously they're working together. We're gonna find out more. They're 2 separate entities, and we've discussed this before, and everyone knows this now. But is this the Order that was seen in what do you call it? Origins, which I believe it is. I believe they're part of the same Order, even though this branch is the Persian branch. Persia and Egypt's like really close. They wear similar masks too. That's the thing. So I'm pretty sure they're like related to that that Order in of ancients. We'll find out more in the 3rd DLC, which launches closer to March. Probably end of February or March, and that will close out the entire storyline for this DLC. The big controversy right now, though, is that so it didn't really affect me at all, but people that were like, oh, you can be male or female, which we already knew that, and then you could sleep with whoever and have relationships, like, gay, lesbian, whatever. My Cassandra was, like, I had her sleep with mostly women, so she was kind of lesbian, but she was like she was bisexual, because she slept with not only that, she slept with a couple dudes, like the one dude that's like, bi too. So I didn't really care. I just had fun with it. It was just like, this is the first one where you can sleep with almost like everyone, so I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. I guess in this DLC, it forces you to be, so if you're Alexio, you're basically forced to have a baby with Darius's daughter, And if you're Cassandra, you basically get impregnated by his Darius' son, and it's like there's no choice in the matter, really. And it was not like I considered like the character more as a friend than for her to fall in love. A lot of people are super pissed off about this because it removes the choice. There, and I kind of understand that, but it's like for storyline's sake, it's like she need Alexio and Cassandra, whichever you choose, need to settle down, because this follows a bloodline. People are like, well, what if they adopt? And it's like, well, even if you adopt, it's not the same bloodline. They don't. You can carry the same name. You can change your name. You can change your last name. But if we're going for story's sake, they're not gonna. It's not gonna be this same bloodline. The genetics are not gonna be the same. So it makes sense from a story perspective. It just, I get it. It sucks that it's forced. Like for that, it wasn't like, oh, you build up. Like there's a small amount of time where it's like you go from being his friend to suddenly, if you're Cassandra or Alexio, same thing. I haven't played Alexio's uh, part where, because I always like playing as females in games, but and this is more of a happier ending versus like say other assassins, their family gets killed, all this stuff. I'm pretty sure Darius is gonna get killed by a Morgus at the very end. The spoilers, you see a Morgus in the background. He's like, call everyone, so he's gonna bring out the rest of the order and he's all gonna try to fight them. The order is coming for them hardcore, and obviously this is about a year time span that all this stuff events have been leading up to. I want to know, like, do you guys think that this is an issue that they forced it? I'm a little annoyed, but I'm not like outraged. They also did an apology, like their story writer, like, but I get it. I get why it's there, because it's there to continue the bloodlines, it's there to continue the story. But you find out there's other ones that are tainted, so maybe not, because the Tempest was actually tainted. She was part of that bloodline, even though I don't know how she's related. You don't really find out. You kill her basically, and that's that. So it's just interesting, and we still don't know who the tainted are either, other than Cassandra and Alexios, or them, and the one girl was them, and the Order wants them dead for different reasons than the cult did. Like I said, I got way off track. What do you think? Is this a real issue? Is this a real issue? Should it be really big? People say that, they advertise it as you can be sexually fluid, I guess, in the game. It's a video game. I understand that. But it's always fun to I always kind of I like games where you can have relationships, but it doesn't affect the entire story. That's the thing. I think that's where it pisses people off. But they can't do that many times. They couldn't it's not Dragon Age. Dragon Age Dragon Age is built a different way. I'm just running around in circles right now. I'm just curious. I want to hear it. What do you guys think? Are people outraged, or who cares? Exactly. Who cares? This is Raven's Bullet List. Don't forget to like and subscribe.